welcome to the Nirvana Strength Practitioners Panel podcast, where we explore the idea of human performance optimization. I'm Ian McLeod, the co-founder of Nirvana Strength, and on today's episode, we will be joined by Jack Tan, aka Mad Jack.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to be recording our podcast at the Haven Suites Bali Barawa. It's a accommodations in Canggu near the Bali Barawa beach. And it's an amazing hotel where you can enjoy your time and relax and try to make your time in Bali epic.
Yep.
Okay. So the focus of the podcast with Jack is this idea of MAD, which is what?
Make a difference.
Make a difference, right?
It's a short form for make a difference.
Make a difference. Yeah. And so the podcast, and so yourself, you are how old now?
I'm 63 years old.
63 and still like super active.
Yeah, but claiming to be 36.
Yeah.
So nobody call me uncle, just brother Jack.
Yeah, okay. So
36, yeah.
So how can you he's gonna share a lot of experiences that he's had in his life with regards to like high performance business, but also through his life and dealing with like stress and how is he able to maintain such an active lifestyle even at this point in his life, and this is one thing that we really highly emphasize at Nirvana is how can we optimize or make the most of our life, for the long term, right? Like we don't want to, be 60 and be bedridden, right? We want to still be active in our whole life.
Definitely.
So this idea of MAD, right? Like how did you kind of first come up with it?
Okay, I came about this MAD philosophy something like 15 years ago, and that's after working for about 20 years, and from being establishing this MAD, I realized I got to make a difference in not only in my business, not only in my health, but literally in everything we do. Every activity can be MAD, can be different. Why MAD? Because so that people can remember the occasion, remember this blow, remember the things he has done, and at the end of the day, everyone will have cherished a good moment in time. All right?
Yeah. So definitely one thing about coming to this hotel apparently is you're gonna have screaming kids in the background.
Okay. It's okay. No worry, it's okay. But it's a very nice hotel here,
Yeah.
I already decided I'm going to stay here the next time I visit Bali.
Yeah.
What is this place called again? The
Haven. The Haven Suites. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, cool.
That's quite nice. I mean, the pool is cool. Yeah, the beach is right there.
Yeah, very nice.
But I suppose it's one of those kinds of hotels that definitely would fit in with the whole idea of MAD, right?
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
Something that is different, something that is comfortable. The moment I step to the door, I could just stay here, man. Instead of Wangi Villa, wherever you are.
Right. So, if we go back to when was the first time you started thinking about changing this lifestyle of yours?
Well, a good 20 years back, since in 1998, a good 20 years back. At that time, I already have started my business. Okay, quick introduction. I run and own an engineering and construction business on my own. And this year is very significant because it's exactly 30 years after I've started my business.
Wow.
So I am called a engineering contractor, and my core business is with a multinational company. In Malaysia, we have Petronas National Oil Company,
right?
And I deal with a lot of Japanese main contractors, American, British. Most of them are multinational.
Yeah.
So
I mean, these are big companies.
Big companies. We are looking at Esso. We are looking at Petronas.
Yeah.
We are looking at the biggest petrochemical company in the world, Technip in Europe, Toyo Engineering in Japan. So these are big boys,
Yeah, no, super cool. I mean, I think it's
big boys.
No matter what particular industry that people are in, I think there's a lot of similarities with regards to how people think about their their craft or their area of expertise.
Right.
And but also too, it's like you do want to become highly successful in it.
Yeah, yeah.
But at some point, like there has to be a good mix of the business side of life and then also the more healthy like lifestyle.
Right, right. I think at the end of the day, successful business is not successful if you don't have a successful lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle, and if your family are not with you, you don't have a family, you know, you don't have friends there. So a successful business combines many factors. Of course, first of all, the business, whichever business we are involved in, has to be made to be successful.
Right.
So how to be successful is something I would like to share as we go along. Something right now I have a good 30 years of business experience. I work all in 40 years today, long time, but a lot of experiences I encounter. Some good experience, some very difficult experiences, and some impossible experiences.
So do you find that though that those difficult times, the obstacles that you encountered, maybe some of them not by choice, obviously, you find that they help you grow as an individual?
Yes, definitely. By helping us grow, we got to really learn from those experiences and make sure we don't repeat the mistake, and make sure our resources do not repeat it. And from there on, you optimize and be more efficient, more responsive the next time around. Yeah, all these obstacles, difficulties are at the end of the day are man-made. Man-made, you know, man-made in the sense that your client may not like your face from the start. You know, there are politics here and there, and sometimes your own workers created a problem. You got to solve it. You know.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of situations that can occur that are outside of your control. What were some of the things that you did to try to preemptively deal with obstacles?
I think the first thing when we undertake a project, a contract, I'm talking from the point that I'm an engineering contractor. So by the meaning of a contract, I sign an agreement to complete it and hand over to the client with a specified time frame. That has to be very clear. And the first rule I set myself, I would like to finish this contract or this project ahead of time. Whether it's a day, 2 weeks, 1 month. That is a very important lesson I learned when in one of the main project we did for Toyo Engineering. And I will elaborate on this subject a bit more, but the first thing we have to make that very clear. You have a contract, a business, you got to make sure that you service and complete it in time.
So setting realistic expectations is a very important aspect of it, right? I think that too, particularly with contractors, I find that, you know, sometimes they will overpromise. That's right. But and then, you know, you just have if you promise something that you know is what like just sounds way too good to be true, you just have this unrealistic expectations of you know how things should be done, how quickly, how what's the quality of which the project is finished. But I would say also too in that other manner is that you don't want to, you know, unfortunately, like you have to make bids for contracts, right? And if you make maybe too realistic of or too your bid is maybe it's too realistic in that it's too straightforward, you might not get the contract. So you gotta play.
If you cover all the potential risk, potential problem, the price get high, you don't get a price. So there's no point bidding. You got to bid in such a way. In our experience, we always have to compete between 6 to 8 qualified contractors, and the criteria is very simple. You got to be technically qualified and commercially the lowest. That is usually the criteria. So you cannot bid a high price. It's no good being second lowest, you still don't get a job. So you got to get it right.
I mean, are there some scenarios though that maybe you are more expensive than someone else, but you still get the
No,
contract?
not in my experience.
Really?
Not
so
in my,
always the cheapest.
Always the cheapest.
Yeah.
And all clients all over the world, they want the cheapest.
Yeah.
And they want cheap and good at the same time.
Right.
So that is a factor. Is sometimes very difficult to achieve.
Mm.
Yeah. So when you get a job at a price which you think is right,
Yeah.
may not be right, which you think is right, then my strategy is immediately to form two things: form the right team, the right management team,
Yeah.
get the right subcontractor. I emphasize the right, the word right, meaning you got to get it right from the beginning, because it's very difficult, and usually we'll lose money if we change halfway. We don't get it right from the beginning, we will not be able to meet the target, meaning
Right.
the schedule. So get it right from the beginning. The right management,
Yeah.
the right equipment, the right manpower resources. This is essential, mandatory for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think too, like if you're, let's say, exercise or training, right? Is that if you try to recover from a mistake, and generally, like mistakes when it comes to anything fitness related, more likely than not leads to some kind of injury or leads some kind of major setback.
Right.
And so if you're like, for example, if you're preparing to do, like this morning you did a handstands class,
Right.
and even in something as simple as that or complicated as that, right,
Right.
you could hurt yourself in quite a large way if you don't prepare your wrists, if you don't prepare your shoulders.
Right.
You know, and if you hurt yourself, like your wrists, maybe you're out for, who knows, like 6 months, 1 year. So
True.
yeah, I definitely think for sure, like
Yeah.
proper preparation
Yes.
is super
No,
important.
definitely, and proper preparation from the beginning is very essential. And from there, you got to look beyond your preparation and see what are the potential problems.
Right.
We are not only dealing with the client. The client usually have a project management, a project manager, which will be another consultant overseeing the work. And then they have a safety department, which are very stringent in the oil and gas industry. You know,
Well, I think it has to be, right? I mean,
it
it's quite
has to be.
dangerous stuff.
It is, yeah. So any incident or lost time incident is literally a black mark to your company. And I'm glad I have did almost 25 million man hours up to now, and I'm glad I have no lost time incident.
Wow, that's big.
A
Yeah.
very good record for us, you know.
No, that is amazing. I mean, in relation to other industries, right? And it's easy for me to talk about fitness, but you know, if we think about, you know, we want to fully prepare the body to be able to handle doing the stresses of whatever the activity is.
Right.
But then also through doing the activities, we also get a better assessment of the areas of weakness and things that we can prepare and get better at.
Right.
So through your kind of experience, I mean, I'm sure the way you prepare your team or prepare your company with regards to each contract has changed a lot since the very beginning.
Oh yes.
What are some? What would be some like most helpful things or tips or cues or things that have kind of helped you progress the most over your time of owning your company?
Good point there. So the earlier part is preparing the right ingredients, meaning the management, the manpower, the equipment, and a lot of problems. We have to realize every project, whether it's a straightforward pipeline, whether it's a complex installation, every project is unique. And along the way, we really cannot really determine what are the problems we encounter.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many possibilities. But we have to get it right, meaning that the management or the supervisor have to be very alert, have to be trained to alert to spot problem. And a lot of problems are actually coming from human, the human factor. We are dealing with people who make mistakes. We are dealing with unskilled workers sometimes. We are dealing with maybe even defective equipment.
Right.
All these have to be spotted right on and
Yeah.
action taken immediately.
And you try to obviously try to identify these issues before they become a bigger problem.
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
And if that means if we have to remove a subcontractor is not performing,
Yeah.
we got to bloody do it.
Yeah.
It may hurt some people, but we have to do it. If we have to remove a crane and get a better crane,
Yeah.
it has to be done.
Right.
Yeah, and these are costs you have to incur. These are costs. It's better to pay for the right stuff.
Yeah.
And getting an accident.
Right.
And when accident happens,
Yeah. I mean, this is. I mean,
our business, all hell broke loose.
yeah, and in everything that you're saying, you know, I can see. I mean, immediately, like in my own head, like how it relates so much with you know how we do business at Nirvana. You know, like how much emphasis that we put on training the coaches and continuing with their education to help them become better coaches, and in turn, right, it allows them to better identify issues and problems that members might have. And then in that way as well, like having them better educated allows them to not only help the members become better at their craft, but also helps them better preemptively find issues or problems.
Right. I think the ones from that angle, every business is the same and it's quite similar. We have to look at the people in the background, the people who are in the front end, in the day-and-day supervision, day-and-day management. These supervisors, these engineers, they are very important, and they have to be trained to, number one, manage the best production out of the manpower, manage the best use of the equipment they have. If they are not doing their job there, they have to be enhanced, and they have to, and the manager have to oversee the whole scenario, spot for potential problem. You know, as I said earlier, a lot of problem, 80%, 90% are human factor. You know, you have a careless worker, semi-skilled worker doing skillful job. All these are not allowed to happen. And if we are not careful in our kind of business, we can lose up to 30-40% man hours due to inefficient, unsupervised work activities.
Right.
And that is a lot, you know, and that goes to waste. No production, no money. Another word, loss.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. I mean, it's, you know, sometimes it's like for like say your project, you know, it's something that can be almost easily, or at least maybe sometimes more easily tracked. The amount of time that you might lose, right, because of delays or you know inefficiencies that happen. I think this is one thing that sometimes people don't recognize with regards to their own lifestyle, their fitness, right? Is that you pay generally for us, you know, you're going to pay a higher cost to get results faster, but also you're paying for not to lose time, right? Because there are so many people that will have improper trainers or coaches that are generally inefficient in what they do, and then the clients don't get the results that they want, and they eventually just get disappointed. But I think that's something that, I mean, for sure for yourself, I mean, being in business for so long, you know, you have to have built a reputation as a company that delivers above and beyond like what you propose.
Right. No, definitely. You know, a major part of any project delay or business setback, the client and their consultant, at many times we found them they are stumbling block. You know, they want quick, they want fast. They keep on asking you to increase manpower, but they know they are limited in their sense that they sometimes do not have the good relationship with the contractor. And therefore, by demanding fast schedule, contractors sometimes have to force to increase manpower, increase equipment, but not necessarily achieving the production level.
Sometimes more is not better.
More is not better. More is not better. So the client can be very difficult, and this is where we get stressful.
Yeah.
Do we agree to their requirement and spending more money,
Yeah.
or we go by our planning?
Yeah.
So I think one factor, communication on site in our is very important.
Yeah.
As we mentioned earlier, if we do not know how to undertake a specific activity, it's best to be honest with the client.
Yeah.
I think that is very important.
Yeah.
Client will appreciate that. And if we are facing difficulty or things that out of control, like sometimes very excessive safety requirements
Yeah.
which are unnecessary, we have to tell the client that this is an issue affecting our production.
I think you bring up really good two really good points with anybody in any industry,
Yeah.
right? Is that if someone is hiring you as an expert, you are the expert, right?
Right.
And for them to just kind of so like even for like our clients, right? Sometimes they want to do something because their perception of what they should be doing is different, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's
they
right.
feel like maybe they need to train more to get better results, but it's not always the case of doing more is better, and
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes doing less is more efficient and maybe get you the better results. So I think that's something very good, and also too, like being honest with the clients.
Yeah, very important.
You know, there's so many people in our industry that that give false promises, or they answer a question even though they don't know the answer.
Right.
So even for us, like telling a member that I don't know, but we always do it with an emphasis on maybe I don't know right now, but I will do my best to find the
that's right.
information or
That's
do you know, because at the end of the day, like if people are hiring you to be an expert, you shouldn't give into their demands all the time.
Right.
You know, it's funny though, because in America we have the whole idea that the customer is always right.
Yeah.
But in a lot of cases, actually, the customer is not.
It's
Like
not,
they don't actually know.
They impose their rights.
Yeah.
So we got to remember that we as a contractor, I always believe we also have our rights. You know, many a time I've been imposed on unachievable targets by the customer, by the client, by the consultant, where at the same time there are not enough material or that is needed to produce that kind of production. So unrealistic. So we have to sometimes be very firm on our rights. Being honest is one thing, being very firm on our rights, and we are being able to tell off the client, look, you are asking for unnecessary demand.
Yeah.
You know, it's not realistic. Yeah, and I think a point I want to make here: never stop asking. You know, I remember my very first project, the first pipeline I did. It was a 32-kilometer pipeline, small diameter, 4 to 8 inch. But when I got a contract, I have zero experience. So I applied a contractor, came in, and we laid the pipeline, but not in a very efficient way.
Yeah.
And every day we have help from the consultant.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know how to build a pipeline.
Yeah.
And you're doing this pipeline, we have hell, you know. So
Yeah.
progress was bad. And I went up to the consultant very well and said, "Sir, I have to admit something to you. I just don't know how to build a pipeline. Can you teach me?"
Yeah.
You know. And you know, the client expect you to be the expert and give me a bombshell lah, scolded me. But the next day, surprisingly, the client came out to me, "Jack, come on to my office. I will teach you how to build a pipeline."
Yeah.
I remember it was an American consultant. And after that day, sure, we built a good pipeline. And we become very good friends after that. So what I'm saying here, do not be afraid to ask. I mean, there are always experts outside there. They are very willing to teach you to do things. They are more than happy to impart their knowledge and skills.
Yeah.
So asking is very important. Asking for clarity, and when there is clarity, there is power.
Yeah.
So you can manage and control things better.
Yeah, I think that, there are a lot of opportunities for people to gain knowledge and even create better relationships with people, even networking.
Right.
I think this is one thing that we have one of the members at the gym, Mike Visteel. He always talks about how when networking, not always looking for a way to be helpful, right? So how can you create value in another person's life, and not necessarily expecting anything in return, right? Just do it just for the sake of wanting to help somebody and wanting to further their well-being. And by doing this, it's I think too, like in fitness, right? There's so much focus on just purely on just the making money part, right? Whereas for us, we tried to focus a lot on the well-being of the individual, and by doing so, you help gain better trust, but also you gain a much better relationship with them. And good relationships just tend to lead to more business and
repeat business,
repeat
references. Now, having said that, I think the bottom line of any business, any services, in my opinion, I use the 3R method. I formulate this on my own. You got to be responsible for whatever you're doing. You got to be responsive to the demands of the job, responsive to the client requests, and finally, you have to show that you're reliable. If you can sincerely impart these qualities, and getting the jobs ahead of chances of getting the job ahead of time are better, and therefore client will refer you to more jobs. A large part of my success was I get many repeat jobs, and client repeat me to other client that this guy is the one you got to use on site. So that is very important, and you got have to build up your integrity as well. For example, by being honest with the client, we can't do it. Full stop. If we can do something better, we tell the client, hey, maybe there is a better way to do it, and it's always good to have both party communication. Very important. If they are not communicating, if the client is not playing golf with you, something is wrong. You have to bear that in mind.
The communication part is really
very
important. Super important. And I mean, it's super important. I think almost in any industry, right? I mean, the thing is that if a client is not being communicative and not even maybe telling you about some problem that exists, right, could lead to even bigger problems in the future. So for example, like in fitness, right, is if I'm training somebody and their wrists hurt and they don't actually say anything about having this pain, it's very difficult for yourself as a contractor or me as a coach to actually be able to make adjustments or to make adaptations to the situation.
Definitely. So that aspect moving forward, we have to look at the end of the day. Does this business make money? We have to make money if we are doing a business. It's no fun losing money or loss if you have a business. Whether it's big or small, the bottom line, we have to make a reasonable profit. And that is the ultimate objective. But we got to do it in a professional manner, in the right manner. And there are ways we can do that. Start by picking the right equipment, right manpower, creating a good communication with your client, your consultant.
Part of this too, I would say, is building the right kind of culture and the environment, right?
That's right.
How would you, within your own company and with the people that you work with, right? How do you go about building a culture that is focused on these things?
So I think as a boss, that's a good point. As a owner, as a director, first we need to be able to come down to the lowest level of human. In other words, the general workers, the cleaners. We should be able to be coming to the level to have a meal with them, talk to them, ask them the problem. Working your way all the way up to the middle level, the management level. Because bottom line, we are only dealing with human forces. If we can align these human forces to do what you want at any time, whether it's midnight, you got it under control. So that part of communication or activity, we have to cultivate. And from there, you translate to your supervisor,
Yeah.
translate to your managers, make them talk to the people who are actually doing the job. You know, everybody is working on something, and everybody works only for one reason: to get the money, to get a salary back home. So we got to be fair to them. We got to pay them on time. We got to sometimes give them some incentive, make them work harder.
Yeah.
That part is very important. So that part you need good supervisor, good management, and at the same time a way to make sure that everyone talk freely. Everyone is comfortable with you, comfortable with your company, and they're comfortable when you pay them on time.
Yeah.
Number one rule.
Pay on time.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not easy. Sometimes we have clients who pay us 3 months behind time.
Yeah.
So we had to go up the client, look,
Yeah.
I need petrol for my Ferrari, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, many a time. So a contractor job is never easy. Beside their own workforce, which can run into thousand.
Yeah.
I have at peak time 1,200 workers,
Wow.
big, and you have the client and the consultant,
Yeah.
and then you have the people who in charge of money. If they don't pay on time, nothing goes. You know.
Right. And so, for
So let me just elaborate a bit there.
Okay.
So by saying paying on time, I think we have to choose, be selective on the right client. I mentioned earlier, I do a lot of job multinational. I don't do jobs with local corporation. For the very simple reason, they pay me promptly. They pay me promptly on time in accordance with the condition of the
Contract, yeah.
contract. I think you have to be very good in that area. So it's an important factor, choosing the right client.
Yeah.
You know, if you have the wrong client, don't get paid, we're done, you know.
Yeah, and I think the type of business that you would want, right? It's really dependent on your client, on what kind of clients you want.
Right.
I think an example that I always kind of give is with regards to, like, let's say if you're running a bar, right? You could have a really cheap bar where, like, all the people that come, sure, they spend a ton of money, you're super busy, but maybe they're starting fights, maybe they're you know, throwing up in the bathroom, and they're trashing your business. Or maybe you go more the kind of speakeasy route, right, where you actually have like clients of relatively high class. They are usually relatively intellectually based. They're there for drinking, but also they're there more for the environment, right?
Yeah,
And
that's right.
you tend not to get the more rowdy individuals. But I think this is something that can be done in any industry, right?
Any industry, yeah.
Right? You can choose the kinds of people that you want to work with and work for as well.
Definitely. We have to choose right from the beginning. One, you know, in our industry, value of jobs can run into millions. You know, a 10% mistake means you may lose a lot of money. And in our business, we cannot afford to make a mistake. So we have to try by every means to be thrifty. To be thrifty meaning to have less overheads in manpower, in equipment hire. We have try our best to be as productive as we can. Try our best to manage the client well. Try our best to keep always ahead of schedule. This part is very important. Every time you are one step ahead of the schedule, you have some authority in you to demand more from the client. You can demand more. They see the progress in you. I want to do more jobs.
Yeah.
You know, I can do more jobs. I'm under work now, not enough work.
Yeah.
So, and there the client, if they see that you have more capacity, you don't have to bid anymore. Do this, do that.
Yeah.
A lot of work have been on that manner.
Yeah.
Because we move so fast ahead.
Yeah.
And other people, other contractors, other companies are behind time. So we end up with more jobs. Of course, these are good additional profit for the company.
Right.
Yeah.
So building a portfolio of
Yeah,
having good results.
Real, definitely.
Yeah, and I think this too, right? Being able to present good portfolio of clients that you've helped successfully help them successfully accomplish their goals.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people that the idea of having a portfolio is quite undervalued sometimes.
Right.
I mean, you find that it's the portfolio more so than just a resume is much more reflective of your results based. Well, your how you can show in your experiences in the past and your work in the past based specifically on the results that you get,
Right,
as
right.
opposed to just blindly saying that, oh, I've done this many jobs. This, and this is the basic idea of like getting testimonials or
Yeah.
yeah.
I think, having said that, the phrase which I want to say is, action speak louder than words. Action, more action, less talk. By meaning that, like in my kind of business, I show it to the client that I'm good. I perform to their requirement. Yeah, and when they see that, yeah, they are confident, and it's always good because don't forget the client, the project manager, he has to report to his boss as well. He has to show a good report card.
Right.
So it's good to emphasize with the project manager, look, let's work together. Let's show a good report card for your boss, a good report card to me so that I don't lose money.
Yeah.
If I am losing money because of problem not encountered by me, I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah.
I cannot perform to your requirement.
Yeah.
So it's a two-way party. The client always have to report to somebody, the board of directors. I have to make sure that my company survive and make profit. I cannot afford a loss. So all this come in play. So again, back to
Yeah. Somebody's calling.
pause, break. Maybe.
Yeah, so it's definitely interesting the way that people need to.
Maybe it's my wife, I don't know.
Maybe it's,
She wants to come up?
Hello, yes.
Moment.
Yeah, we'll just have to cut that part out.
Yeah.
So you're saying?
So I was saying the both ourselves and the client,
Yeah.
we have to report our progress
Yeah.
to someone higher up. In the case of client, he report to his board of directors, his directors, that the job is running ahead of schedule, on time.
Yeah.
Anything that is on time, you're within your budget, and that is important. That is important. And when you're within the budget, and as a contractor myself, I'm within my budget, that is a sign of success in the project. And the only one way to do it is to keep within that time frame. It's important, very important.
Yeah.
One of my last major pipeline job, we were like 10 months ahead of the client schedule.
Wow, that's huge.
Huge.
Wow.
10 months.
Yeah.
And we make lots of money
Yeah.
beyond it, 10 months ahead of schedule. Yeah. So
So what were some of the factors that kind of went into being able to be so far ahead of schedule?
starting from the core preparation,
Yeah.
I think as the owner of a medium-sized company, myself, as a managing director, I think it's very important to be hands-on, to be there for yourself, to see the client, to see your subcontractor,
Right.
to have a meal with your subcontractor, have a meal with a worker, and to be able to size up the situation on site.
Right.
Whether it's the problem, which can be due to our own problem,
Yeah.
can be due to the client's problem. As I mentioned, client can be very difficult, very sticky,
Right.
or it can be due to engineering problem like not enough material,
Right.
and or it can simply due to money. So one has to be hands-on, and one has to be able to see where we can trim resources, not wastefully. Mean and lean is good. Not stingy but thrifty.
Right.
Not stingy. And,
I think there's I mean even some of those words you're using, like even the idea of thrifty, right?
Yeah.
And versus
Yeah.
stingy.
right.
You do want to save cost, but not at the
Yeah.
expense of quality and
Right.
giving the client a high
Yeah.
good results.
Right. And sometimes we may have to pay even a bit higher for more skillful workers, but getting the job done. And in my experience, using more manpower, more equipment does not necessarily means getting the job done faster.
Right. Because if you
Yeah.
just add more unskilled workers
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the situation, they're not going to help make things go faster.
Right.
Yeah.
The bottom line comes to management, managing it, the people, the resources. Management is very, very important. Anytime you have a weak management, you're in problem.
Right.
So a strong, effective management is crucial. Anything, any business, whether in a restaurant, in a gym, or in a hotel,
Yeah.
the management has to be very strong. We pride ourselves that we are a small, medium-sized company. We pride ourselves we have strong management from the medium level management. We have good supervisor. That is very essential for us to be successful. If you don't have these resources, it's difficult.
Right.
Difficult to
So,
finish.
so if we're moving maybe a little bit away from the business part of your life
Right.
and go into more of your lifestyle and what you're doing more so now, how does that kind of all this kind of fit into this idea of MAD, this make a difference? And
Right, sure. Right. I mentioned in 1998, about 10 years after I started my business, wow, I'm like a one-man show with a very little, I have no partner, so I feel very stressed. Very stressed. I was carrying all the burden from getting the bank guarantee, meeting the client, making sure that everything goes in order, like a
it has
one-man
to be
show.
very stressful, yeah.
Very, very stressful. Very, very stressful. So much so, I remember both my knees were literally giving way.
Yeah.
Not from any injury, but from imagine the big burden over your shoulder.
Wow.
It was literally that. And luckily, I met a godsend a person, Dr. Yong. I remember him. And he made me understand the emotional part of our life. A lot of emotion are translated into our body.
Right.
And we cannot handle that well. We just break up,
Yeah.
Started having problems with knees, started having pain here and there without realizing
So
well.
our mental and emotional issues manifest themselves as physical issues.
Exactly. And
yeah.
that can lead to serious diseases,
Yeah.
So I realized that after when I met this gentleman, I understand a lot of the human mind, human emotion,
Right.
and what is, if we don't take care of it now, it's going to cause a lots of problems. So I was determined at that time to change my mindset, shift my paradigm, And how do I do that? First of all, I started to delegate more responsibility to my management.
Yeah. Did you find that was difficult?
Yeah, rather than taking all myself.
Right.
I mean, I got to trust them. I give them authority to sign monetary check.
Right.
Yeah, it's something you got to build on it. You got to trust them to do it. So I wanted to, at that time to reduce my so-called burden to 50%.
Wow.
And I wanted to do work less. So I have my secretary to monitor my man hours I'm spending
Yeah.
in the office, from 60 hours to 40 hours to 30 hours. And in my best time, I was only spending 10 hours working.
Wow.
So that 10 hours when I'm in the office is very important. I got to be super efficient. So I start developing certain methods. One is time management. One is delegation of responsibility to your management. I mean, you pay for them. Pay more doesn't matter, but they are paid to do the job.
Right.
So we cannot undertake all ourselves.
Yeah. You gotta actually trust them to do the job
Yeah,
you
and
hire
then
them for.
Another way I decided not to buy any heavy equipment. Instead of that, I just lease equipment. Let the specialist, let the equipment supplier do what they are good at.
Yeah.
So that is very important. So I just lease the equipment,
Yeah.
outsource my expertise. I outsource my manpower. I don't keep them on permanent contract.
Right.
So all these methods will help me to cut down costs. And I emphasize another way was because we are good at completing job ahead of time, and that is a one superb way to get repeated business, repeated client, references. Because when we bid, it's very difficult to win a job. You
Yeah.
know? Competition,
Yeah.
lowest price, politics, blah blah blah, all these things.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues there for sure.
So a lot of my jobs are won through repeated business.
Yeah.
Simply by proving to the client we are the right choice for you, we make your schedule, we make it on time, win-win for both parties. You know. So from that angle, I also realized at that time in 1998, I was 42 years old. I was stressed like hell, and not feeling in the best of health. So I was determined or understand that I need to have a good, fit, healthy body to sustain the stresses and pressure I'm going. You know?
Yeah, I think
Yep.
even getting to a point where you understand that is good for a lot of entrepreneurs because many people think that in America that I'm gonna work really hard until I retire,
right.
but by the time they've retired, their bodies are like in just shambles, and it almost doesn't even matter like how much money you made in your time.
Precisely.
If your body is in
Exactly.
such bad condition,
Yeah.
like money is not gonna help you get a
Right,
better
right,
body.
right.
Yeah, in that scenario.
No, very true. You know, you can't wait till you earn all the money in the world and start getting healthy. You got to start from the very beginning. And I want to emphasize from my experience, you got to be fit and healthy from day one. That is number one. You know, and with that in mind, because you are fit and healthy, the potential for you to go further, doing more, is there. So I recall back then, I was smoking like any young contractor, stressful,
Yeah.
cigarettes after cigarettes. And I decided, no, that's not the way. So we got to change our mindset, number
Yeah.
one. I won't use the word change. Replace the mindset with something positive, And I started looking, I have always been very active in sports, very obviously. So I started looking into other things I can do differently.
Yeah.
Other things that I can do differently. Like I mentioned now, I can do things differently by reducing my man hours in the office at the job site.
Right.
Still achieving the same result. I do more with less equipment, more with less manpower,
Yeah.
more with less management.
Yeah.
And I understand that concept that every human being can easily do 3 times their so-called assumed potential.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do.
I think too, it's especially when someone's been doing something for a certain way for so long, they fall into habits that become normalized, and sometimes these normal habits that people have are not the most efficient,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And because they become comfortable with them,
Right.
they almost don't believe that there's any opportunity to improve on them. Improve on those methodologies.
Right. And it's a fallacy, to, as I said earlier, more manpower, more production, working longer hours, working harder, you get better result. It's not true. We just have to understand how to work effectively with less resources. It can be done.
Yeah.
It can be done. And I mentioned earlier, management can be done. And that is a very important element in any business to be able to make profit out of your business.
Yeah.
Make profit. You got to be trimming that. And then
I suppose it does make it a lot easier to delegate if you initially hire the right management, right? To delegate the work to.
Right.
Because if you don't, if you don't trust your management to handle the jobs properly, it's really difficult to delegate it, and then it's hard to even free yourself from that work. Yeah.
Very important. And also after, if the management do their job, perform beyond their requirement, then it's also means that your business or chance of your business being successful is there, and you got the reward. You share the rewards with them.
Yeah.
I think is very good for everybody to share, and that they are motivated. It may not necessarily be a big amount of money. It can be in my company. Every year we have overseas a trip for everybody. We have about 20 staff maximum.
Yeah.
So we go overseas somewhere.
Really?
Yeah.
That's real cool,
And
man.
as we go along, we bring their family along.
Yeah.
You know, it just costs a little bit more, but you
Yeah.
know, they will be loyal,
Yeah.
and they like you as a boss. you
Right.
know.
No,
So
that's
things
real
like
cool.
that makes a difference. Things like that. I encourage them to do more with less. Work is fun. You know, you create certain team, certain motive
Yeah.
in your environment. Some of the motto we have is work is fun. If you are not fun working in this company, go somewhere else.
Right.
It has to be fun. When they're fun, they give you the best productivity.
Yeah.
You know, and they find that they are more responsible. Give them the responsibility. Give them the chance to prove themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And
that,
this way we can gradually delegate your responsibility, your burden towards them. I mean, they are paid to do the job.
Yeah.
They are paid to do your job.
yeah.
You know.
And I think generally too, like most people tend to want to be challenged to an
Yeah.
extent. You know,
Yes,
they
you're
want
right.
they want the opportunity to be able to prove
Right,
themselves and
right,
become
right.
a better version of
Right,
themselves. So
right.
if you
Yeah.
you know, if you're always like babying them and not allowing them some
Yeah.
opportunity to, then you know they're not going to find much
Right,
like
they-
micromanaging, right? You don't want to
Exactly,
micromanage
you
your
know.
your
Yeah,
staff.
Yeah, exactly. So trust, responsibility are a key element, you know. And of course, from my viewpoint, sometimes there needs to be a check and balance,
Right.
you know, because in our industry, like contracting industry, a lot of things are dealt with money, material purchase, procurement, you know. So you also have to have a check and balance here and
Yeah.
there, you know. So
So then
you have
now,
to find your own way.
yeah.
You know?
So now, like, I mean, with regards to your lifestyle, you know, getting away from like the work stuff, I mean, you're still super active, right?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
How much golf you playing nowadays?
Oh, nowadays, too much.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 rounds of 18.
yeah.
3 rounds of 18.
week?
A week, 3 to 4 rounds. I still cycle once or twice a week.
Okay.
Swimming for recovery.
Doing some gymnastic stuff in Bali.
Yeah, today
Yeah.
is good, man. I'm so happy to be at Nirvana again, you know.
Did a handstands class.
Yeah, it's my
Yeah.
first handstand class.
Yeah.
Oh, it's eye-opener, you know. Eye-opener. I managed to go for another strengthening class, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I think keeping fit is very important, you know. Now, I drive, okay, share some of my success story.
Sure.
Okay, I mean, business has been successful in the sense that we make money. Everybody make money. My employee makes money, you know. And I own a Ferrari. I drive a Ferrari. Not to show off, but it's a different kind of level of driving. You got to be alert, and in my mindset, you got to be super fit.
Yeah.
So that our reaction is good. I even own a Rolls Royce because I've never driven a Rolls Royce, so I enjoy driving a Rolls Royce, the best executive saloon you can imagine.
Yeah. Okay.
3 of in there, you know, and I enjoy many activities.
Yeah.
Even when I was in the business, I would go for a month holiday,
Yeah.
and I'll be telling my client, don't even call me or email me, don't talk to me, talk to my managers.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, they oblige to my request.
Yeah.
So I my time, my free time, to travel, to spend time with the family,
Yeah.
to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
So that is the offshoot of success in business.
Right.
I have
But-
time to do what I want. I have
Yeah.
time to spend time with my family. I have
Yeah.
little restriction.
Yeah.
Of course, and the bottom line, you got to show good performance first. You don't show that, you can't enjoy all these things.
Yeah.
So there is a relation being successful in business, showing good performance, and be able to live and work as you
Yeah.
want without
Yeah.
restriction.
I think too, you know, like when people think about success, you know, they think about only the money aspect of
Yeah.
being successful.
Right.
They forget their health. They forget
Yeah,
their
that's
time.
Right.
Their ability to be with their family, be
Yeah.
with their friends.
Right.
And so, you know, at the end of the day, I think, you know, although there is you want to be successful in every aspect of what you do, not just success in
Yeah,
regards to
right,
money.
Right.
Yeah.
Precisely. I mean, I know of some people who still working very hard. I mean, they are rich enough to so-called retire.
Yeah.
And and they are not putting emphasis into their health, their lifestyle. You know, they cannot be, and they're still working
Right.
up to their 70s.
So just
It's
pure,
sad,
like,
you
just
know?
work, huh?
Yeah. And I want to emphasize that we have one of the important asset is not money, it's time. Time is very important.
Yeah.
Time is equal for everyone, whether we are the president of America or you are Jack Tan. It's
Right.
equal.
Yeah.
So how we use that time, completely live the life you want or live your purposeful life.
Yeah.
Time is very important.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I'm been able to enjoy a good living. People say enjoy life. Why not? Life is to be enjoyed.
Yeah.
Life is not to be suffered. So you need some planning there. And you got to plan this right from the beginning, you know.
Yeah, I think too, sometimes people need to kind of also figure out like what are their priorities in life. You know?
Right.
I mean, if you really like, let's say, playing golf and traveling, but you have other things that take up too much of your time or take up too much of your money.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, for example, my sister, she, they got a really big house in Maryland. Maybe a couple of bedrooms too big. They've got a lot of land, like 4 acres of land, but 2 acres is just pure grass, so they have to like cut the grass like every weekend, and so they've kind of gotten to a point where they're almost like trapped by their house.
Precisely.
And they can't.
Yeah.
And so the emphasis on what they actually want is not there, right? They kind of. Now they have so much time being spent on taking care of the house when the house is not even really what makes them happy.
Yeah, that's right. I sometimes think that like, well, I cannot join dinner with you or go out because I have to take care of my dog.
Yeah.
Wow, that is sad, isn't it? I mean, the time is yours, and you are responsible for time.
Yeah.
So time, enjoying time, doing things you want to do with time is very important. In that sense, sometimes we got to be selfish.
Yeah.
We cannot be spending and wasting time unnecessarily for others.
Yeah.
So don't involve in loose talk, unnecessary conversation.
Right.
And,
I think that's hard for people to kind of not to say no to things that they don't really want to do.
Yeah, we have to learn to say no.
But I think too, like, even the idea of being selfish can be, obviously it can be seen as a negative thing, right? The idea of selfishness, but it can also be a very good thing if you align what you actually want, and this idea of being selfish, right? So for me too, like this gym, right? Like this is the kind of gym that I have dreamed of training in, right? So it's selfish of me in that, like, I just created this gym for myself, but I align it with my values, my principles, and what we actually want to do for work. And so it's nice to be able to have so many people, like from a social aspect and networking aspect. We can meet so many people, and also help people with their health, and even doing this podcast, right? Like it's a nice opportunity for me to have good conversations with people.
No, definitely. I see Nirvana's strength. It's not only just a gym. I think probably we are the only gym in this part of the world, definitely in Asia, that also go beyond, exercising, beyond fitness, beyond stretching. I see that you hold mentorship program.
Right.
You do podcasts.
Yeah.
You do sharing ideas. You introduce a lot of other aspects which are important.
Yeah.
The more we share, the better it is. People receive it, and I believe along the line there are people down there very appreciative of what you guys do beside the physical gym.
Right.
I think I have not seen anyone like that.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a very unique aspect to
very
what we
unique,
do.
very unique. Very unique. Yeah. So health, fitness are so important today. Although we're in the so-called very modern world, especially now I'm in that so-called twilight zone, 60 to 70, not sure going on to 80. So many diseases are happening.
Yeah.
Why? Cancer is everywhere. 1 in 4 or 5 people are prone to cancer.
Right.
And people get injured, people fall down.
Yeah. It's amazing that, like, even though we've progressed so much in our ability to become healthy, that so many people are becoming sick.
Yeah, that's right.
and I think, I mean, a lot of it has to do with the lifestyle that people are living. You know,
Right,
like
right.
just working themselves to death.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
literally.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It could be a job on the in the desk, you know, but the people have. I just got a message from a doctor friend. She's young, but frozen shoulder, neck pain.
Wow.
So it only goes to say that she's working too hard for
Yeah.
sure, and not doing the right things to solve this problem.
Yeah.
This issue are easily resolved.
And I think this is one thing, like, I mean, it goes to like how you're running your business and how you're so successful in
Right.
that is that, you know, you try to, your body provide you with information,
Right.
right? And you need to listen to it
Very true.
to deal with it before it becomes a major issue.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You got to be alert for signs. You know, anytime there's a pain in the body is a sign of something not right.
Yeah.
So from there on, you got to take the necessary action.
Right.
And unfortunately, I know many people assume they are in good health, and when things happen, it's just too late. You know.
Yeah.
So health is something you got to constantly check,
Yeah.
review and check, review your technique,
Yeah.
review your method.
And I think,
Yeah.
you know, people's perception of, they think that they're healthy because they have no disease or no
right,
problem.
right.
But that's a very low bar to set, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we want optimal health, right? We
Right.
want to be active and not only live to be, you know, a centurion, but to still be able to move around at that point.
Right.
Taking a more proactive role in your own development, so that you can maintain your health, maintain your body for the long
In
term.
fact, I want to say that I first started into long distance cycling, meaning like 300 kilometers, 500 kilometers.
Wow, that's long.
And very quickly I realized I was just not fit, I was not strong. And I recall that was about 15 years ago, 2005.
Okay.
And I would come back all bruised up, all tired.
Yeah.
And that was when I have to admit that Johnson, my two boys, and Jason, they introduced me to CrossFitting.
Yeah.
And I think that CrossFitting at that time was very good for me because there's a lot of mobility, a lot of strength, building, stamina. So I started CrossFitting at that time and it was very good. I'm bored sitting in the normal gym,
Yeah.
you know, so CrossFit was like I can do several activity at one time and I only
Yeah.
pay.
Definitely.
Yeah,
CrossFit was what one thing that it did do very well was that it created a lot more interest in
Right,
becoming
right.
fit and doing more activity.
Right.
And it created excitement and created
Right,
communities.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know, now that it's kind of been in our kind of lives for a really long time,
Right.
like over a decade now, you know, there's definitely a lot of with any business, right, that it can grow to be better or it can grow to be worse.
Right.
And there's definitely certain aspects of CrossFit as a whole that doesn't work very well, in my opinion. But the sport of it is quite interesting.
Yeah.
You know.
But I graduated from CrossFitting into gymnastic. You know, when I first visit with the family back to, Colorado 10 years back,
Yeah.
I was introduced to gymnastic,
Yeah.
which was basically mobility.
Yeah.
Simple mobility, but still a test of your strength, you know.
Yeah.
So I have graduated out of CrossFitting because I find that recovery is so slower. So I like what Nawana is doing, you know, strengthening the essentials
Yeah.
and mobility
Yeah.
and learning new technique like handstand.
For
something
sure.
that
I mean, I think
challenge, you know.
the thing that is definitely consistent and most important with any individual, no
Yeah,
matter
yeah.
what their sport, is their mobility.
Right.
Can you
precisely?
can you train your joints and your ligaments and
Right,
tendons? Because most people, when they get hurt, those are the things that they hurt. You know, of course, they'll hurt their muscles and stuff, but man, the joint health is so important.
Very true, very true. You know, joint health, the right technique is very important
Yes.
in everything. And also, you know, look, if we are strong, we are mobile, It also means that the less chances of us getting injured. That is very important. Avoid injury, but
Yeah.
minimize injury by being strong and
Right.
fit.
So if there was something, we always think of this idea of, if I knew what I know now when I was younger, I would have done, so many different things. So if you were, speaking to your younger self, what would be some things that you would tell your younger self to focus on, or how would you change your behavior and mentality from the beginning?
Well, I'm glad all my children, Johnson, Jason, and even my girl in LA, Jamie, they are having their own business. Why? Because when I started my business, I realized, nothing is easy. You got to be successful. But I realized that we have to be financially strong, sufficient. From there on, you have a better chance of doing what you want to do. Whether you want to travel, you want to have a good meal, you want to buy the things you want to, buy a Ferrari,
Yeah.
Only by doing a business, you have that chance. That is my conclusion. You work 9 to 5, you can survive, but you cannot be successfully living what you want to do, So I have been a very liberal with my family. They do what they want to do. Look, both the boys are engineers, but doing things outside engineering.
Yeah.
I give them the leeway to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they got to prove it to themselves.
Yeah.
So now they are in their business, in their own way. They have to prove it that they can be successful. So I've imparted on them, or maybe any people out there, that I think start right from the beginning. Any business, whether it's a restaurant, a gym, engineering company, you just have to have the right management, the right equipment, right resources. Paying for getting it right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then number 2, you got to be very honest with your customer. That builds up integrity. We don't know. We say we don't know.
Right.
We cannot be expert in everything.
Yeah.
And number 3, you got to be thrifty, mean and lean. Lean and mean. Got to be thrifty. With whatever resources.
Right.
Yeah? And number 4, any business at the end of the day is to make money. A business is to make money.
Yeah.
It's no fun losing money. So we had to be very careful to avoid error, mistake, or factors outside your control, And the only way to do that is to be able to talk to your client, talk to the people around you, be alert for possibilities of things happening. And so what I'm trying to say, you want to be financially independent, you need to have your own business.
Yeah.
A successful business. From there on, don't work your heart out until you're 60, 70 and enjoy life at 65. Too late, man.
Yeah.
You got to enjoy life now.
Try to retire early.
Life has to be enjoyed right now. We don't know what is tomorrow.
Right.
So we don't know. We can't guarantee tomorrow.
Right.
So life has to be enjoyed now. Life, and to do that, to make life interesting, you got to be mad, make a difference. Why I say MAD is a very important tool to do things differently. For example, it's always a mental challenge. But I did bungee jumping twice.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
did skydiving twice.
Yeah.
I've been to safaris.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge to yourself.
Yeah.
You can't tell whether you'll be alive if you cross the road.
Yeah.
So leave it to God,
Keep challenging yourself.
And then when you do sports, like whether it's a gym, whether it's a game of badminton, you got to have the right coach,
Yeah.
Personal training is very important.
Yeah.
Pay for it.
Yeah.
Get the right technique going.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
pay for the expertise. Yeah.
You'll be always at the same normal self.
Never be improving.
Not improving, And when you travel, for example, don't go on a planned tour, go on a freestyle tour like I always do, have a rough idea where you're going, and from there, with the internet, you can do so many things.
Yeah, and make an experience out
Make
of
an
it.
experience, yeah.
Don't have such a cookie cutter
Right, that's
vacation.
right. Yeah, that's right. In fact, when we just came back from a 45 days Europe unexplored tour recently, we've been to places where we have not been.
Yeah.
It was so fun. And how it happened? We just asked the people who have traveled. Tell us,
Yeah.
So we asked a lot, and we found that we are end up in places which were so unique, small but unique, and lots of fun, lot of good moments to cherish.
No, that's awesome. I think that people travel a lot nowadays, but they miss the exploration, right? They don't explore as much as they used to. Everything is very cookie cutter. Everything's very just follow steps 1, 2, 3, and you have an amazing vacation. But no, I love the idea of exploring, not vacationing, not traveling.
Right, and then you will usually we have ended up with so many pleasant surprises, you know, and of course. Be prepared for something when things don't go wrong. Not to worry.
Yeah, something.
We are in the hands of God.
Yeah.
But be prepared,
Awesome.
And then from travel, you go into hell, do things differently.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I walk up the hill, I will walk backwards.
Yeah.
People turn left on the fog, I will go. Usually go right on the fog, I will turn left so I can see people coming down the normal ways. I don't care. I mean, I will hop one leg for a short while, So different things which we can do.
Yeah.
We laugh more, we smile more, These are free of charge. These are different things.
Yeah.
And at the same time, sometimes there is an opportunity to contribute your skills, whether it's skills or some monetary contribution. Do that.
Yeah.
A little bit goes to make a difference
yeah.
to many people,
Cool.
And that's the way it goes. Be mad.
Be mad.
Everything you do, be mad.
Yeah. No, that's a good. I like that, man. That's nice.
Be
Yeah.
mad, yeah.
Cool. All right. Thanks so much, man. It's great to have you on. I mean, we always talk anyways, but it's great to have you come on the podcast and
Thank you.
and share your story and your experiences and
Thank you.
look forward to seeing what other mad things you do. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Ian. It's been great. This podcast, I hope this will be useful for those who are listening.
Yeah.
And I think Nirvana Strength is going big ways.
Thanks, man.
Physically, mentally, spiritually. I hope,
Hopefully
Cool.
incorporate everything. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Ian.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a good way to share our skills in some ways. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, thank you all for listening today. And if you have a chance, come and visit us down in Bali, Canggu area. And we'll see you sometime in the near future.
All right,
Thanks.
cool. Thank you, Ian.